Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Virgo, tonight our card is the Empress, which I'm so happy to see. I know that it means that things are really going so well. It's just everything is growing and getting to that point of full bloom. A lot of abundance and I guess it's, for me, when I see the Empress, I think this is a person with vision. This is a person with drive and motivation and really the ability, right? The talent is there as well. The ability and the talent to get things done. And so, yes, I'm happy to see such a proactive energy entering our shared Virgo space, right? I'm also a Virgo. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look here. We're going to see what these tea leaves want to tell us tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, please do. Definitely love to hear from each and every one of you. And if you're new to the channel, shout it out in the comment section. Now we have the number 28 up here, which actually, and I don't know if I should divulge this, but this is my lucky number. Lucky number 28. Okay, so we have an arrow that's going towards the future here. And I feel like there is a real desire here. It's not only about love. Like, yeah, love is always kind of part of things, right? Especially as Virgos. We can't help it. We're romantics, right? Not just with people, with the things that we love, our hobbies, our interests, our passions, our obsessions. We love, 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 and we love to love, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like we have two people, one right here. You can see the body, you can see the head, you can see the second person over here, the head, the body. Almost looks like they're wearing kind of flowing robes or like beautiful dresses or something. And I see this person holding the fish, right? We have the symbol of the fish there. And so I feel that there is a sense of love, but there's also a sense of financial stability, right? And it feels to me that there is a great desire to not only have maybe one person, but maybe like a group of people here working together towards kind of building something that will pay off financially. This could be like a family business, a little side hustle you're all doing together. This could be with a spouse or significant other, but I think more than anything, it is the emanations of a desire to find this kind of dynamic with somebody, okay? As Virgos, I think that we are so used to just doing stuff for ourselves, by ourselves. Not just for ourselves, for our families, for our work, for our community. But we're not always great at asking for help, right? We often get in this mode where it's like, let me just get this done myself because I know I can do it. I don't want to delegate this to anybody because if they don't get it done, it's going to, topple my whole schedule, my whole, the whole process, right? But not only that, I don't want to put people in a place of failure within our relationship. I don't want to ask you to do something knowing that you maybe won't. And if you don't, then there's going to be some turbulence. More than anything in the world, us as Virgos, right? We want people to say what they mean and mean what they say, right? Just be real. I feel like all day long, I think about this with people. Just tell me, right? Just say what it is. I don't want to do all of the mental, emotional, spiritual gymnastics. I'm not a detective. I don't want to investigate every nuanced thing somebody says to me, right? Just say what it is. That's okay if it hurts my feelings or I don't like it or whatever. I'll get over it. But what I can't get over is my time being wasted, And I feel like this is such a Virgo thing. And so I'm looking at this and it feels like, yeah, I just want somebody in my life. And I'm saying, maybe this is you, right? You're feeling like, I just want somebody in my life who is going to be as focused as I am, that's going to, be as serious about the goals as I am, that we can run this thing together, like build a kingdom, right? A legacy together. And now if you have this already, you are very blessed. Maintain that relationship. Continue to do what you're doing. But if this is something where, you're looking, you're hoping, you're developing this trust within maybe an already involved relationship, you're getting to the point where, let's start doing something together, right? Let's mix financially a little bit. Let's do this. And, I don't think that it isn't so much that we're materialists, although, we dwell in that earthen place because we are Virgos who are, earth element, right? And I don't think it's a sense of being greedy or, wanting to hoard wealth or, anything like this so much as wanting stability, wanting to build something that is meaningful, that is worthwhile, that is solid, right? And when the money comes with that, that's the big bonus. It also is something that it funds your life, right? It makes it possible to be able to have the lifestyle that you want. And so I see that there is this desire, there's this want, but I also see, that the universe is working with you to find this. And it will happen if it's not already happening. I feel that this will happen for you, Virgo, right? So do not be disheartened. Maybe you've had a couple of stinkers, right? You've tried, you failed, maybe a marriage that did not work out or so, right? Do not be disheartened. It's coming. It is coming. Now we have the number 2 up here, but we also have the number 6 right here. Okay, so it almost looks like it could be 206. 206. Or just a 2 and a 6. Now, we have a person who is on a horse, okay, riding the horse, towards the future again. We have birds following, which kind of usually is not a good sign, right? If birds are following you, you can kind of think of that trope of traveling through the desert and the vultures are overhead. They know, right? Pretty soon a meal's going to be emerging here. But I feel like in this situation, it's not anything ominous like that. No. I feel like this is a place where you have something to say, right? I feel like you're really in your powerful communication mode. You know, I think so often we get burnt out, right? And we just kind of go into ourselves and don't really feel like talking to anybody, right? We just kind of want to go about our business, do our thing, not be bothered. You know, go through like a phase that I rather not know. Just don't tell me. I don't want to know. You know, if this is going to be some major heartbreak or inconvenience or whatever, okay. I want to know so I can work it out. I can figure this thing out. But if it's just, you know, the noise in the background, I can do without, you know, and I think that's really the energy of the Virgo. But then, right, you start to step out of maybe the funk, or at least the kind of slowing down that you have been in. And I feel like you're kind of in this more sociable place. I feel like you are being very intentional about kind of where you're spending your time, who you're talking to. You have in your kind of idea of what you want your life to be like, a real clear picture of where you want to go, what you're going to be doing in this next cycle. And I think that you're being pretty proactive about that, making things happen. You know, the first thing that came to mind here was, you know, like maybe returning to the gym or something like this, where maybe there's been some time off and you just haven't, not only have you maybe not wanted to work out in a public place, but just like the being around people and, you know, all that, it just overstimulating, right? And now as you're switching into, and it's pretty much almost Virgo season, right? Switching into our power season here, Virgo. Wanting to get out there, wanting to kind of, you know, mingle a bit. And I think it is. There's just a desire to connect. And I really... I'm trying to think, because it feels almost romantic, but not quite, right? It's like you're looking for a soulmate, but it's almost like a platonic soulmate. I wonder if there is maybe somebody already in your life who you've met and you maybe have talked to, you know, and you're starting to like text or you know, go on little like friend dates or whatever, hang out, as we used to just call it, kick it, right? But I feel like this is like, there's an excitement. You're a little restrained because you don't want to necessarily get yourself too excited, but looking for this connection that transcends just kind of the normal acquaintances and friends, but kind of it's real situational, right? Like this is your friend. You always see them at this particular place and this is where we know each other. But outside of that, we don't really connect too much. We like each other, but you know, you have other parts of your life and they don't really get involved in those other places. And that's all fine and good. I think especially as you get older, you know, this is kind of how most of your friendships even manifest, right? It's all kind of contextual. But no, I think it's like this real urge to have almost like a new family member, right? Somebody who is in the privacy of your life, who is beloved enough that you invite them into your sacred spaces. You have them in your home. You share meals with them. You know, when you have the free time, this is who you go on adventures with, and you're learning to trust them, and all of this, and so I do feel like this will happen by the end of the year. We have the dragon here, okay? So I really believe this is kind of that year where maybe it's been a while since you've really made any friends. You know, in what you would really call a friend, right? What you would really consider to be somebody of great importance to your life. And I think that this next few months will be the time when this person kind of comes into the mix. And I feel like this is going to be something that maybe is a little bit difficult, only because it's hard for you to maybe really truly open up and accept somebody in, like let them near your heart, right? But I think that this will be worth it. Absolutely. I think that this is one of those few people that you come upon in life that it feels like you've known them forever. You feel a mutual respect and loyalty. They're not angling towards anything with you. It just, you really like each other. You really have this like connection that feels almost otherworldly. And, you know, as if you are an adult and getting older yet, right? I keep thinking, my goodness, I feel so aged lately. Well, this last couple of years even. But I know that it is just so difficult to make friends anymore, right? And I don't know. I think it's just being busy. I think that's the biggest thing. And just really, also for me, I'm very introverted. In my personal life, I have a few people, I should say. And I don't go too far beyond that as far as, you know, especially seeing people in real life. You know, I have plenty of like old school friends, but we only talk on the internets anymore, you know? But the few people that I just really feel so close to, it's limited to that, you know? And to have a moment where it's like, okay, well, I'm open to meeting somebody new to kind of come into my life. That's a big deal for a Virgo. Absolutely. Now, I do feel like this person is going to have likely a solar sign, major placement at least, and I almost feel like they're kind of on paper, kind of an opposite. Kind of somebody who you wouldn't usually think like this is going to be some great friendship. We don't really, we have our energy in common, right? On a real spiritual level, so connected. On paper, in the physical world, maybe kind of different. Different backgrounds, different cultures, different lifestyles, you know. But I think that makes it all the stronger. I really do. I think it makes the friendship, the relationship, just so fortified. And so let's take a look over here. Let's see what's going on. We have the number 13. And I see we have two people, or maybe it's one person, but it feels like it is repeated. So to me, it seems like this is over a period of time, and there is contemplation here. Deep contemplation. We have a bird flying overhead. We also have what looks like a bee. And I feel like there's a repeating, something about two. There's two. Notice there's two. That's what I feel like they're saying. You have to notice that there's two of these things, not one. Maybe perceived as a singular thing, but there's two. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's two signs or two messages coming through. Maybe they feel like they're not connected, but they are. Like maybe two different dreams or synchronicities. There is a sign of the busyness of life picking up again. Money coming in, right? But here's the thing. And this to me is very meaningful because I have been in a kind of an appeal, right, through prayer of getting to the honey of a particular work I am doing, right? And it's magical and it's research and right now I'm reading Kenneth Grant's The Ninth Arc, and yeah, kind of having some trouble getting through it, but asking for there to be some kind of hint, right, of the honey of the thing. And I feel like that's really the energy here. Now, you maybe are not, partaking in a particular magical working or reading Kenneth Grant's Ninth Arc. I'd be very surprised if you were. And if you are, shout out to you. Or if you have read it at all, it's, different. But I do feel like in your life you have something going on. And I feel like this really, it all kind of draws back to this wanting to connect to something. But I also feel like it's like on every level. And I feel like maybe this really, it kind of starts at the top, and it is about wanting this spiritual connection, this clarity, this revelation, this, kind of a renewal of passion in that realm. And that desire really kind of goes down the ladder, right? Into the emotional, into the physical world. And there is a wanting of, it's not just more, right? And it's not just like this neediness, like I want more, I want more, I want more. No, it is I want things of quality. I want relationships of quality. I want these spiritual experiences that feel meaningful, not just going through the motions or really ambiguous kind of outcomes where it's like, I don't really know what this, I don't feel moved or impassioned or a connection to this thing that I have just done, right? This ritual ceremony. You know, maybe it is even like going back to church, mosque, temple, you know, and you're going through the motions of it. You're looking for that moment where it really clicks and it feels like, okay, this is divine. This is, I know why I'm here. I remember now this feeling. And it will come. I see it. It will come. It will take time. And you have to be patient with it. Right? And there's work to be done here. You know, I think that when I see the mention in the symbols of contemplation, it really is about having the experiences and being actively involved in those. But it is also about, going over them, contemplating them, and taking the time really to consider. And I think that's the big thing. You know, we so often can go through life where we're just doing stuff. You know, we're going to work, we're taking care of the house, we're, you know, having our relationships, our social interactions, you know, going to the grocery store, getting food, making food, eating food, sleeping, cleaning the house, social interactions, work. You know, and these things, this can be enough, right? It can be. But if you're on this journey of self, of finding something meaningful, something moving, something, you know, if you could imagine like the honey pouring out of the cracks in the thing, the subtle, right, where it all seems mundane, where the holy is woven. And it's hard to see. It's hard to notice it. But once you do, you can't unsee it. And I feel like this is the path that you are on. You are the mystic. You are the observer. You are the magician and the creator of your reality. You're also the witness, the one that is receiving. And so you are ultimately in control of your life from the top to the bottom, while also being in complete chaos, having no control. And I know, it's like, what does that even mean? But as you get through the process of a spiritual life, not being just somebody, you know, who does it on the weekends, which you aren't. You're a spiritual being through and through. When you live a life like this, you know that none of it really makes sense. It both is and is not at the same time, right? And you are developing these eyes to see. And it all comes from the fact that, ultimately, as a Virgo, you have such deep intuition. You have an innate ability to already tap into those clairvoyant superpowers that you have, your intuitive nature. You are probably somebody who can commune, probably with, mediumship channeling, receiving divine inspirations. You have all of this stuff already, but you are developing the ability to access it and to also process the information in a way that makes sense to you. And so I understand it. And there's a desire to connect with other people while you're doing this, to connect with a partner that you can build a firm foundation, a kingdom with. And that makes sense because you have the power. All right, let's take a look at our self-care affirmation cards. And I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. It says, the sacred temple. My body is a sacred temple. I care for my physical self with exercise, nourishing food, and deep rest. I treat my body like a treasured temple. Yes. And whatever this looks like for you, right? There's no right or wrong way. It is individual to each of us. I keep needing a drink here. I just absolutely have been feeling very dried out. Drinking so much water too. I think it's just kind of that time of year with all the fires and things starting to dry out. I noticed yesterday I saw leaves turning a little bit different color and I thought, oh my goodness. And then I woke up and this morning it was like 50 degrees and it smelled like fall. And I thought, oh my goodness, here we go. Here we go. So, anyways, yes, anyways, it's individual to each of us. I'm not going to go too far over that card. But I also want to tell you, Virgo, I love you. I think that you know I do. I absolutely do. I don't try to pick favorites, but, you know, us Virgos, we do stick together. And so, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And what else? Oh yes, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all and they absolutely do mean so much to me. I know I always say that on my readings, but it really is so true. You know, I've made some amazing friends, and I really do think that, you know, they are friends. I consider y'all friends. And gotten to know people over the months that I've been doing this, almost 2 years, I guess. And yeah, I remember everybody's screen names and their pictures, and you know, even as it's gotten more and more busy. So if you leave a comment, I will remember you. I absolutely will. And I'll start to remember your stories. I mean, that's really, there have been some of you who have been so open and sharing, and it really does kind of, it evolves the connection here. At the channel, definitely. And I appreciate that so much. And so also, if you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments. Excited to have you here. And other than that, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for tonight. All right, Virgo, I love you. I love you. It's almost Virgo season. All right. Good night, good night, good night.